offering you a chance to atone for what you have done. To help bring down the single greatest threat to New Orleans.
I can't do this. There are memories that I just can't bear.
Who do you think you're talking to? Have I given you the impression that any of this is optional?
Why do I keep seeing you around my hotel? What do you want with my family?
You just keep doing everything I tell you to do. And you will be just fine.
What are you not telling me?
Stay away from my family.
The Baxters hunting you down. Get him.
That's not how this is gonna play out.
Welcome back to the show. Senator Ted Cruz of the great state of Texas, and very importantly, author of Justice Corrupted, How the Left Weaponized Our Legal System. You know, Senator Cruz, maybe this is a believe it or not, but I read the book and really liked it, and I'm here to recommend it. One click on Amazon or whatever your favorite method is. I mean, it's a really good book. Lots of power-packed history. In that book.
That was interesting. I definitely light into it, but you gotta have you gotta have it. And Cruz, I'm glad you double chin it that big.
This special
you earned the
3
turkey
days
neck. I'll
after
give it to
Trump
you.
announces, whatever one thinks of Trump announcing, pro or con, 3 days after he announces, here comes the latest special prosecutor or special counsel on Trump on Mar-a-Lago on January 6th. This is right out of your book. I mean, you really need to write a new last chapter of your book because, well, you've called it absolutely disgraceful, and I suspect you're right.
Well, thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. You're right. That's what this book is entirely about. It is about
she had
how
some charm, didn't she?
The Barack
bang,
Obama
bang, bang.
administration politicized and weaponized the Department of
That's
Justice
that one
and
is.
the FBI,
You go, I did it on
the
rewind,
IRS,
and then I kept
and law
rewinding it to
enforcement
the
and
intro with
CIA.
like clang, clang,
And
clang.
then under Donald
and I just
Trump,
did it like
those
3 or 4 or 5
hardcore
times.
partisans burrowed into senior career positions,
So I'm having some fun
waged
today.
war on Donald Trump for the 4 years of the Trump presidency. And now under Joe
Every
Biden,
once
it is
in a while.
absolutely metastasized. They are openly partisan.
Something like
and
this will
I
go
got to say,
down
it's
before the
striking. The book
Horace
came out
Harris
just a couple of
comes
weeks
around
ago.
form
It
of
shot to the
Superman.
bestseller list, which I certainly appreciate. But just as I released the book, the FBI raids Donald Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago, the first time in the history of our country that's
this
ever
one
been done.
specifically.
Just as I released the
Come
book,
over here for a minute
Merrick
here,
Garland
Kevlo.
announces he's appointing a special prosecutor
I know
with
what
the
you're talking
intention
about,
of indicting
inflation. I
Donald
really
Trump.
do.
Listen,
And
this
I understand
Attorney
how
General
dangerous it can be.
has turned the Department of Justice
And
into
this
the
is AIs going at each other. First to build it,
of the
right?
White House
and then
the
to get the
DNC.
teams going.
And I got to tell you, Larry,
And then whether they were the same teams or not,
repeatedly
whether
FBI
they're
agents,
rated
from
the close test.
prosecutors
Maybe
at the
teams
Department of
played each
Justice who
other,
are
or two
horrified
giants
at
got
what
banging it
should
out
be
on this
nonpartisan,
land
what
net.
should
Well,
be.
that's
I don't want
a
Republican
lot
DOJ.
of testing.
I don't want a
And there's a
Republican
lot of
FBI.
infrastructure to that
Democrat
stuff.
DOJ or FBI
There
either.
is,
I want a DOJ and
you know,
FBI
something like
that
that where they're
enforces
not
the
going to cause a
law.
problem for
And under
themselves.
Joe Biden and Merrick
Right? They're
Garland,
going to
it is
make a big
instead
issue. Well,
partisan
how about you?
weapon.
You grind it
That-
out,
that's
big
an
guy. Take your
incredible
time. I
threat to
added
the
this
rule
one.
of
I was like,
law and everyone's
wait a
liberty.
minute
You
here.
know,
I
it's
just
interesting,
they were
just as a
running
brief
awesome,
sidebar.
right? And I just
The
talking to
my
them,
friends,
you know,
your
and so
friends too, I
like
think,
if this was hot
on
and
the
things were
editorial page of the Wall Street
it's not going to
Journal,
be there,
have
and
been
that's
slamming
why.
Donald
And
Trump ever since
didn't
the
very well
election.
yet.
Okay, they're slamming him daily. Whatever one thinks of that, I frankly think they've gone way too far. But that's an aside.
This
they
weekend.
did, however, or they do agree with you that
they're not
this
going to do
special
right. You need to do
prosecutor
permutations
is a very
correctly.
bad idea.
And let
And
drill
basically
sergeants
for the
do their
reasons that
thing,
you're
man. Let
mentioning,
them
that
take
this
on
is
their units and
weaponization
then
of
go,
law
you
enforcement.
know, that's
And
why
the other thing
Cruz
is,
would be like,
Senator
oh, so
Cruz,
you,
it seems to me
yeah,
the
you did that to that
remit
one, huh?
is
Well,
far-reaching. That you're
that seems
talking
like a
about
stupid fucking thing to do for
fishing
America.
expedition in the next couple of years, as Trump may or may not run or get through the primaries. I'm not here to predict that outcome, but I am here to
that
criticize.
round in that tank round
What's
is
the
my
remit?
favorite one
It's
here.
not
It'll
just
tell you exactly
Mar-a-Lago,
where
it's
it's
not
going
just
and
January
where
6th.
it
This
went
thing
from
could
where it
roam
is,
far
give you a
and
little
wide
insight
into
where it
who
came
knows
from.
there.
Yeah. Look, Larry, I've talked about this at great length on the podcast that I do 3 times a week, Verdict with Ted Cruz, where we've gone in and explained what's going on
You
inside
cannot tell old people
at
to,
DOJ.
it's like
and
telling
you really
this guy
go back
right
a
here,
couple of months ago,
you know, that
when
he
DOJ
needs to go back
began
through and do
leaking
the
that they
whole
intend
Book of
to
Anook
indict Hunter
and
Biden.
Kabbalion,
And
Lesser
set aside for a
Key,
second
and
that
all
DOJ
those things
leaking,
again,
that's not
because
how
we
the Department
might
of
have
Justice
had
is
the
supposed to
math
operate.
wrong.
That's pure
But I don't know
politics.
what is
But
really
my
in there, and you know you
assessment
hear
back
it.
then when they
It's
leaked it, what
definitely
they said
there.
about Hunter
And
Biden
day
is they
after
were gonna go after him
day,
for
different
drug
teachings.
charges
Either you're
and
on the
income
run,
tax
right?
charges.
There's no
Both
reason.
of those are personal.
Penn's
They're
Road Twisted
directed to him.
Theory
And
every
listen, at the end
day
of the
for
day,
8 hours a
our
day in
concern is not
45-minute
with some
clips,
troubled soul who
breaks
has substance
between them,
abuse
and
issues.
you know that's
The
a type
reason
of
that's a
math.
matter of
You'll
public
get that
concern
algebra
is the very
and
significant evidence of
vocabulary
official
and.
corruption
When
of
GPT-3
Joe Biden, the
hits me
President
on
of
the
United
numbers,
States,
because
and
Siegel
before that,
did
the
me,
Vice
right? He
President.
did me. He's on
And
the
I believe what
marshmallow of this
DOJ was
flavor
doing
and color, and the
number one,
closest thing to the
by
pin chip
leaking, they're gonna go
configuration
after Hunter
here
for the personal
was
stuff.
got
They're
to do
walling
something to
off
make this
all of
rocket
the
go
official
off.
corruption.
I mean,
they don't want to look at Joe. They don't
it's
want to look at the
not
White House.
as
They
hard.
just want to
Once
say,
you know this
poor
bit,
fellow
I'm
with
going to
substance
tear
abuse
it
problems.
down.
But number 2, I think that was the first shoe to drop, so they could then
Don't
appoint
wanna-
this special prosecutor and indict Donald
real
Trump
small,
and
big
say,
guy.
look how even-handed we are. We indict a Biden, we indict a Trump, not politics at
So,
all. This is 100%
That was a good one. When they get in there, they do that.
politics.
They want to look
You know,
at
for
it
2
and eat
centuries
shrapnel
of our
in the face,
nation's
and that
history,
thing
this
is
has
an
never
explodey,
happened.
and this
Banana
guy's going to
republics
tell
do
you
this.
down.
Banana republics, when one party gets in power, turn around and
over one.
prosecute their
One
predecessors
over
and try
the
to lock them
Lagrangian.
up.
I'm
and
trying to
put them
find
in
the height
jail.
of the function
Now
of the
Joe
dominion
Biden
by
is
the
trying to
measurements,
turn
the
America
opposite, the
into
adjacent,
the
inside
Democrat
here.
equivalent
But
of
that's
that,
nothing
and
if you
it's
don't put
wrong.
numbers to it. You got to tell me, as a math
weaponization
teacher
is a very
here,
bad trend.
at
So,
a
Senator,
real
let me
level,
turn to some other
college,
things
they
here.
should be working
So
with
the
these
GOP
kids
will
as far
take the
as
House,
find
not
something they
quite
want.
the
It might
Senate.
take a
Maybe it'll
week,
be
and it's going to be a
50-50 if
problem. You've
Herschel Walker wins,
closed
maybe
off
not.
how to
My question
fix
to
C
you is,
plus, right?
the Republican
Well, they're
Party
making a C plus. A
poised,
students are on
ready,
the run. The field
organized
theory different
to
every
really
year.
make it clear to the American people that the Republicans have an agenda
I was
for
doing
economic
the snap,
growth
but
and
this pulling it
prosperity. And I mean a
out or
broad-based
putting one in,
agenda.
I'm pixies.
Spending, taxing, regulating, of course, opening up the
Real.
spigots on fossil fuels, but also
Well, my
stopping
shit
crime
together
is
first thing I learned how to
pro-growth.
do, big guy.
Stopping the borders, closing the borders would be pro-growth. In other words, can the GOP show
good.
the public that they
Anyway.
will make good stewards of economic prosperity?
It's
'Cause
magnetic
I'm not
flux
sure
there
they
breaking.
made that
And it's
case.
like aluminum. Just real quick, screw them. And then later on, go on. It was like, what was it? They were here with
Yeah,
you,
look,
but
I agree with you.
you're gonna have
and
to be
I
like,
hope
well,
so. We
because
need to
Solomon
stand
and
up
the
and
dragon
lead,
and the
that
rest
means,
of the
number
stuff
one,
inside here.
Serious oversight
So,
from the House of Representatives.
and
That
then the
means
thumbs up
investigating
on the
all of these
thumbs-
policies
But at
that
any
are
rate,
hurting the American
you would say
people,
something,
policies of
the
waste
chemistry
and
there, what
fraud
was
and
I?
spending trillions of dollars that are driving up inflation, the war on domestic energy production that's driving up the cost of gasoline, all of the soft on crime prosecutors and
Functioning
the
that
zealots
dominion there.
advocating for abolishing the police and how that is driving up crime.
Yep,
We need
kick
to
me
be
right in the
fighting
head.
all of that. And I'll tell you, in the Senate, you know, we just had last week, as you know, a leadership battle in the Senate. It's first time in 16 years that Mitch McConnell's been
Kill me,
leader,
Jim.
that there's
Keeping
been
it
a
sharp for
leadership
me.
battle. And,
You
and
should
I
do
stood
this.
up.
It'll help
I made
you
a motion that we should
make
delay
that vote,
leadership
do that
elections
thing.
until
It's
after
not crazy
December
to
6th,
think if
until
you
after the
have
Georgia
got a
runoff. I
long-term
said,
thesis on
Herschel Walker
schizophrenia,
deserves to have a say
personality
in our
disorder
leadership.
with hypervigilance
And we
and
need to have a
PSTD.
debate
It's a lot of
about
words,
what
and I just used
Republicans
them.
in the Senate are
And
gonna
that means
stand
that
for.
I should be able
Are
to
we
graph
going to fight?
schizophrenia,
And
not just here.
my
You
motion
would figure
needed
hardline
25
stone
senators
though,
to
right?
vote for it for it to
You're
pass.
acting like 7
It ended
different
up
people.
getting 16,
Yeah,
so I
but
fell
that's
just 9
real about
senators
being
short.
the ground
But what
guy,
was
the
valuable
operator and
we had
manager
2
and
days
being
of
a little
extended
empathetic
debate where I
about
asked our
what might be
leadership, I said,
going on
"Listen,
in the world around.
is there
It's not
anything
as much
that we're
magic as
willing
you
to
think.
fight
It'd
on?"
be physics.
Because
if you
right
use
now, a lot
NASCAR.
of the American people believe we're
Organic
not willing to
chemistry or
fight. I think
SNAP,
we need to
changing
pick
the environment,
big issues and stand
getting
and fight. And I
motivated.
suggested several. I suggested Number one, we should be fighting
works,
right now
but it's
to
not the only
stop
answer.
Joe Biden from firing thousands of soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines who dedicated their lives to defending this country, who Biden is
Keeps
firing
taxes rolling.
just because
I mean,
they declined to get the COVID
so
vaccine.
what
I said,
happens to all the
we
same
ought to use
tax dollars?
legislative
You'd
power to
figure
fight
with the
that.
military we
Next
had,
year,
that was
we ought
taxation
to draw a line in the
representation at its
sand and
purest
fight and
form.
say, we
Taking
will
in
not
trainees
fund
and doing things, especially you know that the
87,000 new
military is on
IRS
a drop,
agents
having a
who
hard
will
time
descend
recruit
upon the American people
is
and
a couple of
persecute the
problems.
American
You're doing the
people,
training,
whom Biden
they were
will
supposed to be
weaponize
fixed
to target
year
you.
over year,
We ought to
and
draw the line in the sand
you
and
should
say,
have known
we're
how
not
to
going
do
to
that.
fund
We
that,
kept changing
and we're
uniforms,
going to put
right?
that money on the
You're
southern
changing
border to
camps'
secure our
names.
border.
Salty's
Now,
gonna
I'll tell you,
fucking
our
kill you,
leadership
man.
wasn't eager to engage
Why
in any of
Marine
those
won't
fights.
allow us any of this?
But I think it was
Or the
beneficial
National Security
that we're having
Agency
that
is
conversation.
100% them. Just walk in there and fucking smoke every one of them.
I think if you want to win and lead, you got to demonstrate
Somebody
you're willing
better,
to fight.
'cause it'll be the one of you that does it. It's gonna
That's what
pull
I'm
it
trying to
off.
get
The rest
my
of you
colleagues
gonna be
to
second
stand up
hind
and do
tit.
all together.
Why not, by the by, why not take H.R. 1, which I think might come
when
out
are
of
you
the
gonna
House,
be the
and
bitch
support
here?
that,
I mean,
that would essentially
that's where it
turn
get good,
the
'cause,
oil
you know,
and
you'll
gas
watch 'em
spigots
bang it
back
out and
on,
be like, all right,
permitting,
I saw bang it out.
fracking,
Yes,
pipelining,
yes,
Wouldn't wanna
refining.
stick a
I mean,
hand in that threshold.
why not start there? I mean, I think 80% of the country would be in favor of that, and that would be a good shepherd for returning
They
to
shouldn't
economic
be in
prosperity.
your
I think that one
locker
right
if you
there would be a
have
great
something
place
to
on it.
chew on.
Look, I think fighting not just for energy independence, but for energy
He said it was a
dominance.
bridge. Yep, that was
United
it.
States
He said it
of
was a
America is
bridge.
the
I need a
world's
piece of
leading
paper
producer of
on
oil
the
and
one
gas.
bridge you did,
It's
and maybe
dropped
your technique and
precipitously
play
from where
was
we
good
were
enough
because Joe Biden
that the other
has
states'
systematically
engineers
waged
brought that
war
function into the game.
through more than
There's
20
no way
different
that that's
regulatory
happened. So
assaults on oil
you
and
could maybe
gas.
say
But
their
not
books
just that.
might have been all
Going
across
after
the board a
capital.
little beat
You
up.
look at
Who
their
does it? The
banking
military.
regulators that are making it
If
harder
anybody
and
with
harder
a
for
secondary
banks
protocol in
to
there with any
loan for
kind of
new
training that could
oil
just drop into the spot
and
for
you look at the
CDLs and stuff
SEC,
like that,
who's
or be
making it
able to make
harder and
sure
harder
that that's
to raise new
as close
equity
to safe as
capital. If
possible
you
with
can't get
chemicals
equity
or
and
otherwise.
you can't get debt,
Big loads,
you're out of luck.
heavy
And
dirt loads
this
are
is
dangerous.
by design. And I got to say, Larry, it is difficult to explain. I don't know how these
36,000 pound
leftists
rig right there.
articulate why.
Maxed out.
They want America to produce less oil and gas, while at the same time, they want our enemies to produce more. They want Iran to produce more oil. They want Venezuela to produce more
Hell,
oil.
if we put 10 more
They are in
rigs
the
out there,
process
we could
of
cut this
shifting
down
oil
so
and
it
gas
pins down the
production
pop. Well, we're
from among
doing
the
EV rigs,
cleanest
but my point,
production on
you
Earth,
could
which
put
is
10
in the
rigs
United
down.
States of
We'd
America,
figure out the
that
population
produces
and the
American
timeline
jobs
of
to our
figuring it
enemies
out.
who produce oil and gas
But it
much dirtier, who pollute more, and who use that money to fund efforts to murder Americans.
That's
It
what
makes
you
zero
get, I
sense.
guess. We get.
Last one, Senator Cruz. You know I can't help myself. So your speech.
Well,
at
you can
the,
take over your chains and rattles.
Republican Jewish
I mean,
Coalition,
it come in
you
later on
blew
about,
the
well,
roof
here's what I
off.
did,
You got a
Cruz.
standing
I
ovation.
put it down, I made
So
sure
why
the
don't you throw
cop is
your hat into
covered,
the
the hospital
presidential
stuff
ring?
is good,
Toss
post
it in
office
there.
squared away.
In
Those
fact, I'll
had
get you
for
a hat.
sure
I
to
have
be the
some
hard
lovely
line. Now, I
English
might have some
trilbies
assholes
that I
in
would
there, but
love you to
hopefully
put
the school
chatted to
teacher
the
and the other ones get mixed up with each other because they're actually, you
Well,
drag them in the
I'll
office
tell
like
you
that.
what I said
Hospital,
at the RJC
police, and
is
school.
that I'm running for
So either
re-election
you're
in
in
the
on
Senate.
it,
I'm on the ballot in 2024.
cutting them out on the taxes
and
overall,
the Democrats are coming after
gonna
me.
do
There
it.
is no
and
Republican
you know,
in the United
Democrat,
States Senate
Republican
who
come in
Democrats
here
would
and
like
can
to
survive.
beat more
Got coconuts
than
from.
me. Last time,
Talk.
it was the most expensive Senate race in
People do.
United States history. They
That
outraised
group down there
and
gets
outspent
opportunity,
me
and then you
3
kind
to
of lean
1.
off on it too.
And
Maybe
because
that's
I'm
what they
leading
need
the
a
fight
little in
against
it. Maybe
these
not
disastrous
the
policies,
actual
they want to take
water
me out.
in the
And so I
water,
would
but
encourage folks listening, go to tedcruz.org.
something like that is what you need over here.
tedcruz.org,
You know, Salty, a
tedcruz.org,
Sharps, and Oilers
because we need
number,
the
and
contributions you're making
a Lambda
to
guy.
get reelected
Yeah,
and also
something
to
like that.
stand and fight to take our country back. Tomorrow, I'm headed to Georgia to do a
Nope,
rally
let
with
Trip
Herschel
out
Walker
and go
Lindsey Graham
warp
and Sean
chaos
Hannity,
about it,
because
and you
that
beat them
December
up with the
6th
Rhodes
runoff is
conjecture.
critically
Did you
important.
graph
And
it?
so
A,
your
give me
contributions make a
A,
big difference,
one
and
to
I'm
Reno,
focused
every
on the
nuke
fight in
that
the
could
United
hit
States Senate
New
right now.
York
There'll be plenty
from
of time
size,
to
and
worry
then
about the
the
president.
damage
All right,
result
so
of.
if you change your mind, I have a lovely classic English trilby to loan you for such an endeavor. Senator
At least make it a cowboy hat, Larry.
Nah. I got
I mean,
actually have a
well,
cavalry hat.
If they
too.
hit,
Senator
it's
Ted Cruz,
Jigsaw.
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
Jigsaw.